And if you're waiting to start a business, you need to start your business right now. Today, you need to start your business. You need to get up on it. You need to make it happen. What we're going to talk about in this video is how to start businesses with no money. But there's a disclaimer to that. At some point, you will have to put money in the business, just to let you know. If you didn't know who I am, that's right, who I am. I'm Glenda Cameron, founder of Every Man is a Millionaire. What we do is talk about business, money, a little social, economic, politics, and anything you need to know to make some money to enhance your income. Best way to enhance your income is to start a business. It's the fastest way to get wealthy, bar none. Be sure to subscribe, and more importantly, get on that text notification list. And I'm about to go into this. YouTube does not send all of the subscribers that I have notifications that I have videos. They just maybe 10%. So to get around that, you need to get on the list so you can catch these gems, because YouTube's cheating you. Seriously. How do I know? I've put some paid traffic on these videos and they get 80 to 90% watch through rate. So it isn't that the content isn't good. It's just YouTube's a hater. So to get around that, be sure to get on the text notification list for this channel only. There will be one for each channel. So be sure to do that. All right. So what we're going to talk about is deals. And I'm going to use myself to illustrate how in so-called good times, and they were good times, the late 90s, I had a situation where I was homeless. I was in a boarding house. And that happened during one of the first stage of the internet revolution. .coms were exploding. People were having ridiculous amount of money thrown at them. Yet I was living in a boarding house. Yet I had no money. I was in that situation for about 2.5 years. But all around me, people were making money. So what does that illustrate? It illustrates that I did not have marketable skill sets. Those good times. I just didn't have the ability to take advantage of those good times. Now, fast forward to 2009. We know what happened 2007 to 2008, 2009, probably 2010, 11. The world's economy crashed. A lot of people weren't making money. People were losing homes. People were losing jobs. People were spending down their 401ks. Yet I, from 2009 to 2011, made $1.6 million. I said 1.5, but it was 1.6 when you count everything. Times were bad for most people, yet how did I go from living in a boarding house when times were good and not making any money to making money when times were bad for most people? We're going to get into that in this video. Be sure to watch from the beginning to the end so you don't miss nothing. Matter of fact, you need to watch this video maybe 2 to 10 times so you get it all. Number one, marketable skill sets are everything. Forget a college degree, forget about position, forget about your experience. If the market is saying, if you're going out to the market like, I have my PhD, I have my bachelor's, I have my master's, and the market's going, okay, what can you do for us? You don't have marketable skill sets. I know you worked hard on your degrees. I know that you made the dean's list. You graduated cum laude. I understand your plight. But see, this is what's happening. The world is moving at the speed of light. So those marketable skill sets that you paid all that money for and went to school for in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, well, guess what? Today, no one cares. Don't care how hard you work, because you cannot go into a company and facilitate change and make an impact to that bottom line. So they're just like, next. So that's what's happening. Marketable skill sets are everything, and you can teach yourself marketable skill sets. This is how you can start a business with no money. Now, you're going to have to work like a ninja. you're going to have to work so hard. You're going to have to sacrifice so hard, and you're going to have to start drinking from the fountain of delayed gratification. You're not going to be able to spend the money that you make from your business for a while. That's the problem with starting a business with no money. Once again, I have a few businesses going on, and we'll talk about Mac Daddy Media, which was started January. Well, Cameron Strode Media is the holding company. Mac Daddy Media is the operating company. This was started in 2017. A lot of the money has gone through that company. I've not taken out a penny. A lot of money. I haven't taken out a penny. I've been living off my hustle money. And this is what you're going to have to do. If you're going to start a business with no money, which is very easy to do, you're going to have another source of income above and beyond that business. That's the little wrinkle that many people are missing, because it's going to take you, and I want you to hear me, 2 to 10 years, once again, 2 to 10 years before that business gets big enough. It starts feeling itself. Its shoulders come in. It starts becoming that business that you want it to be, so it can pay you. The money, the dollar bills that go in that business are bullets in your economic gun. If you're taking some of your bullets to shoot off in your business and you're taking some of your bullets to live on, you are hurting yourself in this economic war. So you got to think of bilateral businesses. You need your business that you're building, which you can't touch none of the money, and a side hustle that you live on, that pays your mortgage, that pays your car payment, and all this other stuff. And there's a ton of side hustles where you can make 3 to 10K a month. But see, this is the problem. Many of you, and I'm going to be gentle, are not used to working very hard with delayed gratification. I am 51 years old. I came from that generation. I'm going to tell you this story of Miss Jones. Miss Sally Mae Jones used to cut her yard. When I was a kid, someone that posted this, the GoFundMe of the 1970s and 80s was a kid behind the lawnmower. That was the GoFundMe. I cut the grass, right? Thought I did a good job. Miss Jones, who was quite elderly at the time, had a walker or a cane sometimes. She came out and she said, Cameron, see that blade of grass there? You see that blade of grass there? You see that? I'm not going to pay you till you fix those defects. So crank up the lawnmower, went, and I learned, instead of just trying to cut, even, I had to have a little overlap so I can get all of those defects. I had to work twice as hard to get my money. Thank you, Miss Jones, because you taught me how to work hard. Everybody was like that in my neighborhood. I worked for this one company. They had a trucking company, and I went to their house and I was cutting down weeds. Once again, she fed me lunch, some ham sandwiches and some pickles. And then she went ahead and she's like, look, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. So either you need to fix this or I'm going to dock you. So I'm with the machete. See, that's the kind of grooming that I got as a young man. And many of you are not getting that. No fault of your own. It's your parents' fault. They didn't raise you to be productive. They didn't raise you to be creative. They didn't raise you to be industrious, because everyone got hooked on that. Well, little Susie, little Jamal, you going to college and you're going to get one of those nice, clean jobs, right? Well, that ain't really working out so well now, because a lot of those nice, clean jobs are being automated. So little Susie, little Jamal is in the basement of the parents' house at 28, 30, 40, some cases 40 years old. They boomerang kids. They leave and they come back. They leave and they come back because they never understood how the world works. So you can start a business with no money, but you're going to have to do something called sweat equity and delayed gratification. That's going to be the key. Because if you think you're going to start this business and you're going to have your Lambo, like so many of these FBA course sellers, hey, I started FBA 6 months ago. Now I have my Lambo. And hey, here's Big Booty Betty. They have these imagery. You see all of this stuff. You see it, and it's so seductive. Who wouldn't want that? You right now broke. You don't have enough money. And here comes this guy for only $798. I can change your life. That's exciting. If I didn't know any better, if I wasn't as indoctrinated into the reality of how hard it is to make a lot of money, I would be like, shoot, where I buy this? I'll be trying to get that so quick, my fingers will be on fire. Even if you get a course, you're still going to have to work. You're still going to have to deploy delayed gratification. You're still going to have to put in sweat equity, and you're still going to have the principles of wealth. And the principles of wealth is not to lose money. That's the first principle of wealth. That's why the rich folk, not the 1%, but the 0 point something percent are very much on a tax game. Very much so. The Googles, the Apples, the Dutch sandwich, where they're paying like 7% of their income in taxes. You can't play that game. You don't have enough money. But you can play the hustler, entrepreneur, start a business on the side game, which will realize you a lot of money from your taxes. So you got to start playing the game. You got to start slow. You got to realize that you're a little baby hustler. You know, you still vulnerable. Now you could grow up to be a big boy hustler, but it's going to take some time. So repeat after me. I am not going to have my Lambo this time next year. Just repeat. Just go ahead. I am not going to have my Lambo. I'm not going to have my mansion. It ain't going to happen. But if I work hard enough, in 5 to 10 years, I will have that stuff. And my, I don't know if y'all can hear it. My landscaper services here, but part of getting money and realizing that there's always opportunity, because as I told you in the beginning of this stream, when times were good, I was poor. And when times were bad, I was rich. It's all about these marketable skill sets. It's always about creating businesses that serve a lot of people. See, a lot of people want to do this YouTube thing, make some videos, get a lot of money, quit their job. Silly rabbits. It don't work like that. It never did. And it really don't work like that today unless you've got some seriously hustler undergrad tutelage bringing you up. Once again, you can start a business with no money, but the missing ingredient is you need a side hustle or a spouse, someone to hold down them home bills while you take every dollar that business has and reinvest it into the business to make it grow faster. And that's the trick. That's the little nuance no one's going to tell you. That's the hard part. That's the little trip up. That's the gotcha. Because so many people want to be better. I understand you want to be better. I understand you want more money. I understand you want to do better for your family. I want to understand you want to put your kids through private college, private school. I understand, but you don't seem to understand how the real world works. Because see, that belief that you can scale up your business in a matter of weeks or months, that's going to keep you on the sidelines. You're going to be like this. Well, I could just keep messing around, keep playing around. I don't have to start a business because, you know, due to hustler porn, due to the internet, that I can start my business at 50, scale it up in a few weeks, scale up a few months, and then, you know, get my Lambo in 18, 19 months. Now, there are people who do these things. There are people who go into a new market or an established market and they crush it. They absolutely crush it. And you know what we call these people? Unicorns. They're exceptional. Many people are parading exceptional people as if they're normal, as if this is typical. For someone to be 18 years old and by the time they're 20, be making $1 million a year is highly atypical. It ain't the norm. It's just not. But that's how it's being sold to you. That's what's getting you all gassed up. Because I'm here to tell you, if you work hard enough, if you live long enough, if you serve enough people, you'll be rich. But you got to do that work. You got to put in that time. You got to put in that effort. And a lot of people ain't trying to put in that time or effort. So first step that you do, you find a business that you like. Do not, once again, You got a business model, you got a hustle. Your hustle, you don't have to like your hustle. Your hustle is temporary. Your hustle should last 2 to 3 years. You can do Amazon FBA as a hustle. You can do eBay as a hustle. That shouldn't be your main ingredient. That shouldn't be your entree. Then this business that you want to start, I don't care what it is, you start it. You start a business that you like. You like the people, you like the products, you really like it. Because see, this is the thing. Because it's going to take so long for you to get up on your business that if you don't like it, you're going to grow to hate this. So why are you going to create a job, aka business, that you hate? How much sense does that make when you have a choice? How much sense does that make? Let me know in the comments. How much sense does that make? So one of the things you have to do is to produce value. Now, value could be anything. There are two businesses in my neighborhood. There's a donut shop and there is All About the Bunt cakes. They sell cakes. You need cakes? Nope. Are cakes actually good for you? Nope. But they have a very good business model and they were well capitalized. And that store has been in business for 7 years, I believe. And the donut shop came in about 2 years ago and they closed at 4 because see, they don't make their money from people coming in. They make their money from deliveries and pickups. You know, because they're surrounded by all these office buildings. So people come in, pick up a dozen, 2 dozen donuts and put them on the coffee table at business. That's their business model. See, they're not just out here selling donuts. They're selling convenience. They're selling service. The bundt cake thing, the cakes are tasty. They really are. Who are they selling to? Corporate. Not selling to you and I. I mean, sometimes we go in there, but that's typically most of their business. It's their corporate clients. But why? Because they moved in this neighborhood and the King and Queen building, which is literally down the street, that's who their client base is. So when you see these businesses and you see they're doing well, you got to really peek behind the curtain to know what their business model is. That's why I find it so interesting when people try to copy other people's businesses without knowing the secret ingredients. It's funny. It is hilarious. But that's the key because it's going to take you some time. Now, here's the good news. Let's say you have your business that you love, that you like, and you enjoy working on it, and you work on it a little bit at a time. You know, take those bullets that the business makes, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then your hustle can be your job. Your hustle could be some stuff you don't like because I assume, like, let's take eBay. Let's say eBay, Amazon, and Craigslist. You could probably make between all three of them 100K a year without working overtime. If you have a plan, if you know how to do resale, you could work a 20 to 30 hour a week and make 100K a month doing resale, 100K a year. But here's the problem. Whatever people start making money on, they become addicted to making money that way. I'm guilty of it. Like, you can't get me off YouTube. Matter of fact, I started some more channels because once you become accustomed to making a certain money a certain way, then it becomes very distasteful to leave that way of making money. So this is why you have to have two businesses, a business and a hustle at the same time, because if you just do this one-itis thing, let's say your business is finally getting to the point to throw off money and your hustle disappears. You still standing on your two legs because you were prepared. But let's say your hustle is Amazon, and then Amazon moves to cheese. You all kinds of messed up. I've seen it. I used to be in some Amazon groups and I got out of there because I got tired of complaining. Now, once again, I said, and I put up videos, no eBay, no Amazon, and predicted to the letter what was going to happen. People like, Glenda Cameron's a hater. Glenda Cameron, you know why he's saying all that stuff? Because he couldn't make it on eBay. He couldn't make it on Amazon. I was a platinum seller before y'all even knew what platinum was. But once again, people forget. People don't want to pay homage to the forefather because, once again, I was one of the founding fathers of the reseller community on YouTube. Anyone say that, they'll be shot down because of all these new young guns, all these people with their new channels, and they're growing really fast. But see, do me this favor. Check out all of their views, overall views, compared to subscribers. It's very interesting. And check out their money. It ain't the same. But anywho, you can do it. I have confidence. I have faith in you. But you got to embrace these terms of delayed gratification. You got to embrace these times that you're going to have to work 2 hustles. And 1, you can't touch the money. Nope. All right. So with that, let's get in the chat room. There seems to be a lot of people going on. Okay. It's not too bad. It's Friday. What's up, Johnny Walton? You in Florida? Western chill zone. I wore this shirt because this is the shirt that I wore in the first. I didn't title it "How to Start a Business with No Money" because that topic is just swamped. So I had to change up the title. That's a little YouTube game for you. What's up, George Senior, Cashmatic, Christian Amerson, Sir Nicholas, Yolanda, Excalibur, Richard. Oh, it is a burner. Michael, you know, I got this out of a storage unit about, 15, 16 years ago. What's up, Agent J Pool, Ganja? Yes, the text notification. Once again, YouTube does not send out notifications, even if you ring the bell. It doesn't matter. If you want to be insured to get the videos, go below and get on the text notification list. What's up, Cool Breeze? Roll Tide. Luxurious Hustle. I like that name. See, one of the things, and let's just peep this real quick. What you name your avatar is part of what's in your subconscious mind. So you want to have a baller avatar name. And also, this is something else too with Luxurious Hustle. He actually has his face as the avatar. I'm just telling you, you know, if you feel good about yourself, you have a good mindset, these are the things you're going to do. Because whenever somebody comes at me like, yeah, man, I made money. I made more money than you. But they got a name like Shaggy876 and they got a picture of a dog as their avatar. They ain't hitting on nothing. They ain't hitting on nothing. That's right, Agent J Pool. The throttle effect is real on the pay to play. What's up, Chris Love? Superstar Customs, good day. Webinars are getting better and better. Thanks. Yeah, because last webinar happened last night, and it's in Hustle Undergrad, and I did a diagram. You know, it was funny. I was trying to put together a diagram, you know, diagrams using Canva, and it was just like, it wasn't working. So I just drew it on this iPad, which is all kinds of mess on my. I just drew it on this, and people seem to love that. Got the audio down because what I'm going to do is redo those earlier webinars because the audio actually just is garbage. So I appreciate that, Superstar Customs. What's up, Lucid Dreamer? Jim Cal. Good morning, Irvin. You know it's about those Wheaties, man. What's up, Latasha? The Beauty, JCH. Lamode. Oh man, you were up early, JCH. What's up, Lamode? Good morning, SB. 285 top of the morning. Cool Breeze. Just think most banks have a 5 to 7 year capitalization phase. Yeah, a lot of people, like, I'm having this conversation with this fool. I want everybody to, if you have on any type of athletic shoe, casual wear shoe, go below, pull up the tongue, the tongue, and see where this shoe is made. Because someone's like, you represent Nike in these sweatshops. Fool, most of these shoes are made in the same places. So if you're going to burn your Nikes, you might as well burn your Gucci, might as well burn your Converts, might as well. And he clapped back because, see, once again, he's a Trump person. And you know these people have no sense. So I'm just going to let it be. I didn't even read this comment because I know it's stupid and insipid. But once again, you have people out here who are masquerading as an intelligent adults, but every day they display how stupid they are because they don't want to learn. They don't want to be so, I had someone on the comment section who was wrong. And instead of like saying like a man, my bad. No, 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 no. He dug in deeper. Well, how dare you say those things to me? How dare you? Oh, he can't speak intelligently. I've been speaking intelligently, articulately for 10 years. But once again, haters, they just need a corner to hate. And they go in their corner and hate and like, oh, I got a cookie. I got a cookie. Test tube babies. What's up, Michelle? Michelle. Go, Yolanda. Yep, I shared the GoFundMe post. That was hilarious. What's up, Amar? Health and wealth. Good morning. I have to say, after years of working on myself, I am kicking on delayed gratification, especially with losing weight. That's a very good point there, because little story, and I'll get back on topic. I have finally, and it's taken me 2 years, I have finally got my diet correct. And the diet isn't just something that I'm going to do for 6 weeks or 7 weeks to lose weight. No, the diet is a consistent thing. And it's gotten to the point where I can actually lose weight, because now I'm working out just lower body, and I got to work out to do the day. And I'm not even working out upper body because I got goals, but that is so hard. And also I've lost 50 pounds and I've kept it off because I got to get that diet thing together, which all plays into delayed gratification. Next summer, I could be very close to the 6-pack world again. But it's taken like 2.5 years. And that's something that a lot of people don't want to do. They want to lose it quick, mess up their metabolism, and then wonder why it's so hard to lose weight. So congratulations, health, wealth, and real talk. What's up, Chris Isaac? Lucid dreamer. Yeah, delayed gratification is where it's at, man. Jim Cal, that's exactly right. Mofo, I can change your life too for a fee. Great topic this morning, Glenn. Cool Breeze, we'll be talking about that in the Q&A. Everybody that's in Hustler undergrad, there will be a Q&A based on the information that was yesterday, tonight after 7. I'm not going to have my Lambo. No, you're not. If you're exceptional, you might. Okay, cool. So I got this mic versus the lapel mic. Good deal, Lucid Dreamer. What's up, Crystal Davis? Quentin Jackson. I'm 23 and my dad and mentor taught me to work hard and grind. I've done construction, demolition, accounting, direct sales, public speaking, various admin tasks, janitorial, and I'm a musician producer. Man, you got a whole arrow quiver full of skill sets, because if you're young, this is what you need to do. You need to do a lot of different jobs. Especially, you need to work like a maniac on finding out what makes you really happy between 16 and 25, which is a lot of times people are partying. Cool Breeze, I don't have a business I'm really interested in. I'm thinking of more investing, not in stocks, and more everything else. If you can become really good in investing, you create a business. I'm just here to tell you. Most people actually don't do that well in investing. Mo Grizzly produce value all day long. Lucid Dreamer Romer wasn't built overnight. That's my bakery. Same hustle. Free T3. All right. It just jumped. Okay. Good Lord, it jumped. 285 property. You business agnostic. Whatever way makes money. Money Jones, like that name. Keep your odds coming. Jamal, YouTube stay moving that cheese like you call it, digital sharecropping. Yeah, because I'm not even asking for subscribers. I'm gonna even tell you what's gonna happen. Once I get about 2 or 3,000 people on the notification list, the channel will explode because that's a direct influx of traffic. Because essentially, YouTube is saying, we're going to give you a little traffic, but you're going to have to do the rest. Oh, Crystal Davis, Amazon has snatched the rug out of a lot from under many, many people. What's up, Archangel? Christian, I never thought of my job as like being a side hustle. Maybe I need to flip the script and make my job, my hustle, my business, my regular job. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Because once again, I'm here to tell you, you can have it. You can have everything you want in life. But the problem is that time thing. It ain't gonna happen in a year. It ain't gonna happen in 2 years. Some exceptional people do it in 3. For me, it took, let's say, 5-ish. Well, let's see, more like 6. Because I'm going from when I had my business. I'm gonna say it took me 6 because even though after I left my job and started my own thing, I did very well. I didn't make a lot of profit. I made 7 figures, but I made 5 figures in profit. And I ain't even talking about, we talking about like 38, 40K off $1.5 million because I messed up so much. It was very depressing. So I made it, but I didn't make what I like to call real money. And real money is the money that you can spend. Because you have a lot of these people, Amazon FBA people are really guilty of this, and they'll show you these big numbers, but when you break it down to the net, it ain't really that impressive. Once again, like take your side hustle. Let's go ahead and say you have an off the book hustle and you just make 2K a month or maybe 3K a month. That's going to pay most of your bills. Because see, the thing is, what you want to do, like Christian said with his job, you want to do what you need to do to keep that job and to keep that side hustle. You don't want to crank up all your energy and time into the side hustle. You want to keep it, get it to a certain point, maintain it, grow it slowly, and then focus your real efforts and stuff on your long-term business strategy. Cool Bruce, true. Pretty much the same with everything. Pretty much, man. Baby hustler from Reno, Nevada. I like that. Steam Games was up. T dot, I'm in school, but this feels more like school. It is, because see, one of the things that they don't do in the formal education system is they don't teach you anything about money. Nothing. When I was in school back in the dinosaur days, there used to be this thing, home ec. They would teach you how to balance and checkbook. Seriously, they would teach. They just took all that stuff out of the school. What's up, King Carlos? You're funny, charlatan. I noticed that name too. I use my government like like an idiot. Oh no, using your real name is cool. Shabazz Enterprises. Have business and hustle, which is the stock market, and it's outgrowing my business. Wow. Some of you will be in that situation where your hustle will do better than your business. That can happen. But why would you think about this? You got 2 sources of income. That's a nice problem to have. Chris, I remember when I first saw you on YouTube, you were talking about making money with storage units. So this channel got started. We went back because if you'll notice, if you look at the first video, which is how to start a business with no money, you'll see that this shirt is way loose because I was a big boy back then. George Henry, have you tried PowerPoint for your diagrams? Here's the problem, George. No, I haven't tried PowerPoint, but when you, because see, to do PowerPoint, I'm going to have to get into Windows. I'm on Mac. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to keep this very, very simple because when you get complicated, because what I did yesterday worked just fine and people really loved it. So we're going to keep doing that. Steam games helped me in school. 1 plus X, 1 plus 2. Good Lord. What's up, Jabrash? Jamar Trasher, you're right. Every American, especially Black Americans, need an LLC. Absolutely. America is a corporation. So when you're in the corporation, you need to be corporate, baby. A lot of people don't understand that. It's like, I'm going to keep my job. I ain't cut out for being an entrepreneur. You cut out to eat. You cut out to need gas. You cut out to need a place to live. You cut out to run a business. Ving Desai. Thanks for the 1,500. I don't know what that is, but thanks for it. I'm dedicating my future success to Hustlers Kung Fu. Appreciate it. Oh, that's funny, Josco. That is hilarious. Archangel, mine is made in India. I know all those shoemakers with economies of scale all make shoes in India. Hey, yeah, all of them do. I think there's very few shoes made in America. I know there's some, but they may literally be 5% of the market. Stephen Jameson, get those LLCs out of the corner and get my money. Show me the game. We showing you the game, man. Yeah, Baroque music can actually help you learn. Tiger Sharks, dude, just dropped 1.5. What are you talking about? Yolanda, appreciate you. Cool Breeze. Most people don't realize you're buying the brand, not the clothes that I'm just a name. Absolutely. Most folks don't know that Nike, Adidas are marketing companies. They're not shoe companies. They license all that stuff out to wholesalers and third parties. I think now Nike I think Nike owns all the Nike stores, and I think that they're reeling it in. Yolanda, I learned that working for Gap. Branding is very powerful. This is why I changed the name. All right, BR. Oh, it's rupees. That's what it is. Okay. All right. It just jumped again. Hold on. All right. We're getting back there. There's crazy stuff going on, money around the world, man. Infamous NYC. Yes, I'm a full stack developer myself. I build websites, email templates, good money in this, and build database systems for people. Got to grind out here, bros. Definitely. What's up, Roosevelt Davis? It's been a while since you've been here. Journal Wright, you were right about delayed gratification. I saw a recent interview with Ricky from New Edition talking about his biggest regret being ignorant about owning his publishing. Curtis Mayfield told me, he said, never sell your work. Rent it out, lease it, but never sell it. And I think a lot of these younger artists are showing these old artists what's up, because a lot of them are fiercely independent. Like I think, God, Chance the Rapper. I think he's fully 100% independent and he makes millions. Home ec was gone. I mean, I don't understand why they got rid of it. I'm 51. How old are you, Shabazz? I'll be 52 next month. It's an asset that plays long-term versus short-term money of doing shows, getting high and getting laid, just end up broke, living in the projects and have a mortgage, 500K. I mean, a lot of artists just didn't really understand, because once again, I put in my group and people couldn't believe it that Ashanti has a net worth that is 4 times greater than Ja Rule. And they couldn't believe it, right? Because Ja Rule was in all these videos. The money is behind the camera. The money is behind the stage name. Ashanti wrote her own songs. And a lot of people didn't want to believe that, because that's one of the things that got her signed, because it's like she can write. Because they were like, yeah, she's cute and everything. And then it was like, yeah, but she writes. Really? And I don't know if Beyonce writes her own stuff or not, but I get a vibe. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Lionel Richie writes, Sire writes. There's just some about people who write that there's certain vibes that you get. It still got kids dissecting frogs. Oh man. What's up, Von B? Kashawn, nobody ever talked about 5 checking accounts in college. Part of this is stuff that I developed from my business. And some of the stuff is just standard accounting for corporations, because what I did is took what huge corporations did and I brought it down to a small business level, because there's so much you can do with those checking accounts. Oh, health and wealth going way back. I remember not only taking home ec, learning how to sew and cook in school, but I also learned how to type and take shorthand. Got my first job as a teen because I could type. They call that keyboard now. When I was transitioning out of the boarding house, I got into this veterans program and they call it keyboard. And I was like, you mean typing? No, keyboarding. Vaughn B pages, PowerPoint for Mac. Once again, all right, let's put it to this, and hopefully let's put this to rest. I have a different creative process. The stuff is better when I create on the fly. So doing PowerPoint and all this other stuff, it just didn't have the look that I wanted. I'm quite sure I could find someone to hook it up, but for right now, to get the information out versus, and this is a really good point, some of the most powerful information I have gotten has been from somebody on a whiteboard. Not a this is thing. When you go to these masterminds and these meetings, it's somebody on a whiteboard or having one of these huge tablets where they're just writing on tab. That's what you got people paying 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 G's for that. So let's not get caught up in the weeds of making it look pretty. Let's make sure it's effective. Because there was like 3, 4 people. Thanks for, I love this. I love this. So that tells me I'm gonna keep doing it. Mm, and I actually used Pages to put that presentation together. I just drew the diagrams on my iPad. Plus, for those of you in Hustle undergrad, I got some very good news. Y'all gonna love this. Jamon, Jabras, Uber will be my side hustle. Then I start trucking business for my brother. He's a truck driver. All right. Jerome Carter. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. Any books or templates on how to create your own sales funnel? Jerome, I don't really have a sales funnel. I do what's called direct marketing. I was like, hey, join Hustlers undergrad for this. That's it. I don't have a sales funnel. A sales funnel is for larger, more established people. If you're starting out brand new, you need to do direct response. It's faster. You're going to get a faster feedback loop of what's worked. Because you go ahead and put together a complicated funnel, you're going to have to spend a lot of money to see what works. And I'm talking about 10, 20, 30K. Testing, money just testing. Now, once you dial all that in and you got the appropriate back end, we talking millions a month. But once again, how many people here have the 20 to 30 to 40 to $50,000 to test and make absolutely no money back? That's one of the reasons that I suspended my AdSense campaign, because I used to spend a lot of money on this channel and I just went in a different direction. I was like, you know what? AdSense is playing funny games. We're just going to go to a direct response model. MMA fan 3. If you can pick up women, you can start a business. I love that. I love that. Oh man. Should pass. It's a big problem to only sleep 3 to 4 hours a day. I'm from your hometown, Birmingham, Alabama. I was a sheriff deputy many years ago, patrol Adamsville area to Birmingham. Wow, man. You know the attitudes there, man. Jarash, yes, there was an undergrad hustler webinar. One of the problems is that people, and once again, I should say this every time, go to your spam folder and pull out all of my emails and put them into your inbox, and then put Glendon at hundergrad.com in your saved contacts. And there's the session is in the art of holding companies. I recorded it, uploaded it, and I actually sent out another email last night announcing the webinar that's going to be 7 p.m. tonight. Shadow the music artist. Shadow the music. Dan Luck just said something. A bad product and a great salesman is better than a bad salesman and a great product. Dan is my dude. I actually met him. Um, I will agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. Thanks for the $30, Cool Breeze. Appreciate you. What's up, Journal? Von B. Curtis Mayfield told you or learned that from him, cause if he told you personally, that's some real game. Man, he told me he was, because he was paralyzed. And we were just talking. I was like, I write poetry. And he's like, look, whatever you do with your poetry, never sell your work. Always own your work. And he even said, it's like, you're like, right now, nobody's buying it. Don't worry about that, because you never know what'll happen 10, 20, 30 years from now. And if you sell your work, you're going to regret it. All right, all right. I am 51. I'll be 52 next month. And something else too, Shabazz Enterprise. He has his name, he has his face. Because see, when like we're gonna jump into a little disruptive male game here. Um, Many guys come at me talking about, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, right? But they don't show their face on YouTube. They don't have their picture. See, if you feel that you the man, that you got game, you're so arrogant, you will show your face. You cannot show your face. And that's one of the first signs that this person's just playing games. Charlatan, I know, man, it's big money. Crystal Davis, Barry White was a millionaire many times over because of all his publishing rights. I had no idea he was so wealthy. Where is it? Well, this ain't a real pen. Oh, we got a real pen. This pen can make you a millionaire. If you know how to write music, you know how to write books, you know how to create courses. If you know how to write, that can make you so much money, and then that money can turn into passive income. I wish I had written 15 books in 2009 and 10. I really do. Hindsight's 2020. Facts. Independence where you at, you can't be afraid of hard work. It ain't no fairy tale. Nope. George Henry, removal of home economic goes into the feminist movement. I wonder about that, because typically it was girls, it was a few guys, but they took it out. Yet, see, once again, you really have to look at, just Google all the people who are songwriters. Google Lionel Richie, he's worth almost 300 million. Google Elton John. Elton John wrote his own songs. Kenny Rogers. God, what? Dolly Parton. I think Lionel Richie wrote one song for them. I think in the streams or something like this, because Lionel wrote a lot of country music. Yes, I mean, people get up into that other craziness. Uh, Beyonce, right, but does outsource to others. Steve Jameson, I would say, I mean, I just don't get the feeling that she's a writer. I get the feeling that now let's say maybe she writes like Michael Jackson wrote, because Michael Jackson used to be, he didn't play any instruments, but he'd be like, shoom, 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 and they put that into a song. So she could have collaborators. I would believe that. No, Beyonce does not write her song. Archangel, Beyonce would tell you that she sings other songs. To the left, Neo. Wow, life skills are gender based. I did not know. I know Chandelier. I know that girl is she can be a little depressed at times. JCH, Pooh Bear. He wrote a lot of stuff for Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber actually said, "No, Pooh Bear wrote that," and he put Pooh Bear on because you can go to the Pooh Bear Vlad interview, and he'll talk about that because a lot of these artists they will not tell you who wrote their songs. They will have the songwriter contractually obligated not to give up the info. Lucid Dreamer, I don't have the bandwidth for that. Yolanda Trust, bloody great content. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Mo Grizzly, why did my bank give me the side eye and third degree for wanting these extra accounts? But it makes sense for what I do now. It's easy to keep up and separate my funds. Most bankers are not used to people coming in and doing it at a small business level. My banker, when I set up mine, she had worked in corporate and she understood, and she was just like, well, congratulations. A lot. She said most small business owners don't do this. And also part of it is the people who open up corporate accounts are trained to vet you out. They'll ask you about your business. That all those little chatty, conversations. So what do you do and how do you make your money? That's part of their interrogation process. Dylan Break, Chris Records, Mastermind, and James Smiley use whiteboards, and they're not cheap. No, because the thing is, when you get to a certain level, you don't need pretty. You need effective. All that pretty stuff. Because once again, this girl, she was selling this video training. It was super pretty. It was super professional, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Well, thank you, Crystal Davis. This channel is food for the financial stomachs. I've grown to love this channel. You have so much knowledge and inspiration to offer. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Because when you look good and you know it, you won't put your face out there. That's that inner arrogance. you gonna do that, man. Crystal Davis, do you like Kindle publishing? Let's talk about Kindle publishing. Kindle publishing is a tool. It does nothing without talent, good books, and a good back catalog. Nothing. So if you look at Kindle as a tool, I know a few people. I know one guy. He's doing $80,000 a month from Kindle publishing. He's written 78 books in the last 7 years. He was doing a book a month. He was a machine. He actually gained 40 pounds. So he started doing his books on one of these walking treadmills and he lost 40. He was a machine because that's one of the things. If you want to sell books, write a lot of books. You want to sell a lot of books, write a lot of books. Sean, Elton John only composes the music. Bernie writes. All right. Once again, composing the music, making the beats, that's big money. Yeah, because the thing is, so many people, one of the things with hustle porn is people want to make money pretty. It ain't about making the money. They want to make it pretty. They want to make it in a way that they can say, look, hey, I'm a baller. Hey, I did this. There's a guy who came to one convention I went to years ago. He sells flags, flags for a house. He's doing 3 million a year selling flags. Flags. Height, weight, and real talk. You gave me chills when you said the pencil can make you mean, so you know how to write, which I do. Yeah, because one of the things is people don't want to work. Meaning, like when you write your first book, there's this moment of joy and glee, and you feel so good, and you should enjoy that, and then immediately sit down and start writing another book. Infamous NYC. Actually, that's all right. Home Ec was removed to increase funding for science in colleges. High schools just followed suit because they were cheap. Consumerism had more of a part of it than feminism. Okay. Well, like I said, I know it's been removed. I didn't know why. That is funny. All right. So for you folks who are part of Hustler Undergrad, what's going to happen probably next month is I'm getting ready. Well, actually, I've gotten a new camera and it worked great when I was near the light. It would probably work better if I lit this up because I don't have any lights on. Let's see. Actually, this is one of them. It ain't on, but these stream in 4K. So I'm going to start trying to stream in 4K, but I'm going to, where is it? I don't even think it's on the desk. All right. Well, I can show this next month because I'm going to put it together as a formal competition. I'm not just going to say, hey, you know, if you're in Hustle Grad, you're going to get something. You're going to have to work. But this is a Zoom recorder. I'm giving this away to Hustler Undergrad students only. Just be real clear about that. Because somebody like, hey, you know, you said you're going to give this away, and they bug me. I'm giving this away. Yep. So as I upgrade stuff, I'm going to hold a contest for Hustler Undergrad students, and this will be for the YouTube stuff. So we're going to do the Zoom recorders. We're going to do the old Logitech cameras. I'm probably going to do some of the lighting because I'm upgrading and making my stuff better. And certain things I'm keeping, but this computer, which is an iMac i7, 64 gigabyte of RAM, this could be a major contest, but I'm going to give this away. I'm going to give the other one away because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all of these Pro Max, the gray ones. So I'm going to have probably 2 or 3 of those. So these are going to go to the students. And once again, just to let you know what's coming, because, you know, it ain't set up yet. There ain't no timeline, but once I set up, you know, you will know because I want you guys to be successful. Also, did y'all see that video I did on, you know, the latest video I did on Disruptive Mail? I shot that with the Sony 3 A7 III, the autofocus, because you notice how some of my videos that it will focus and refocus in my hands to be clear in my face. It doesn't do that. It focuses so fast. So I'm probably going to give away the Sony AR2. I'm keeping the 6500 because that works great for some stuff. So because I'm going to upgrade. I don't know because Canon is coming out with a 4K camera. And I may get that, and then, but definitely I'm going to give away the Sony R2. So there'll be more stuff just for students because I'm not going to be doing this to get no. That's just I'll get people who just subscribe for the free swag, and then they won't really do anything and learn anything. Oh well, I am going to leave a lot of content because see, I just use these for work. They ain't really nothing on here, you know, personal. And I have to. There's going to be ScreenFlow that's on here. There's Wirecast on here, Keynote. So yeah, I'm leaving all that on here. ScreenFlow, I'm leaving that on here. Von B, I try to tell my friends about intellectual property. You only do the work one time, and least and selling the work pays for the life of work. Sir Mix-a-Lot. No, God, hold on. The guy who, let's see. Hold on. This is bothering me. But he was one of the first rappers. Was it Act 2? Oh, wait a minute. Because this is bugging me and I'm going to find it. Milk. DJ Milk did it. DJ Milk. Good Lord. See, you got so many people biting folks' names. Top billing. There it is. Top billing. And he actually said that because top billing got sampled by so many people that he has no debt, no mortgages, and nothing because of all of the money he got from top billing. It was one of the first rap songs, and Mary J. Blige sampled it. 50 Cent. I mean, Anytime you got to use that work, you got to go to them. You said leave the pics. Oh, I don't have any pictures on these computers. All of my dirty pictures are in Google Drives. I keep nothing on this computer. That's funny. Thanks, Lawrence. All right, so that's what's happening. And once again, if you're in Hustlers undergrad tonight after 7, we'll have a Q&A session. All right. So once again, go below, get on the live stream notification list. And if you need help, you want to jump into Hustlers undergrad, it's $300 a month for 30 months. And I guarantee you, the YouTube tax strategy will pay for the whole course. So with that, I'll see you guys later. You have a good one. I am out. Welcome to another edition of Every Man is a Millionaire. Today we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick and Nike playing the long game. There's been a lot of welcome to another edition of Every Man is a Millionaire. Today we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick. What's going on, people? Today we're going to have a very different type of stream. I grew up poor. Did you? I want you to tell me about your experiences growing up poor in the comments. If you grew up poor, and we'll define poor as you don't have anything. And I'll get into deeper explanations. The reason I'm doing this is this is a preparation. Because in my last video, I knew people was like, well, everybody don't have money like you. I didn't start getting money until the age of 32. I'm currently 51. So that means most of my life I didn't have money. The majority of my life until I turned 64, then it'll even out at 64, which is 14 years away, 13 years away. So no, we're not even close to this. All right, making sure that this stream, because it's acting up. It's been weird today. I think I need to turn my computer off and turn it back on. There might be a little buffering, there may not, but we're gonna roll through it. Now, one of the things that I want to convey to you, and let's start off with poor. What is poor? We're going to define poor as you're always struggling. We're going to define poor as you make less than $30,000 a year. One of the things that happened to me when I was poor is I woke up many mornings shivering because we ran out of gas. Then we had to go down to my Aunt Evelyn's house and spend the night until my Aunt Evelyn loaned / gave my mom some money to turn the gas back on. That happened a lot. And this was when winters were cold. I mean, there used to be 4 distinct seasons in the South. There used to be ice on the ground every winter. That happened quite a bit. Another thing that happened was, because we were poor enough to be on government assistance, food stamps, that government cheese, the free lunch program, all of that. And I absolutely hated it. I hated because my mother was a single mother, I was in charge of going to get the food stamps. So I would be in line with all these adults getting the food stamps. And because my mother was a single mother, I had to do shopping and spend those food stamps. I hated that shit. I absolutely hated it. It was just one of the worst things ever to me. So I think I made a decision early in life that I wasn't going to be poor. And it took me a while to get there, but for those of you who want to say like, well, you got money, I'm willing to bet you that you grew up in a better position than I did. financially. I'm willing to bet you cash money. You know why I'm willing to bet you this? Because you ain't hungry. There is no hunger in you. There is no drive. There's no internal hustle. There's external hustle. Hey, look at me. I'm hustling. I'm hustling. I'm hustling. I'm making this happen. I'm making this happen. But there ain't nothing internal. There's no internal fire because you had it so good most of your life. And people are quick to marginalize the hard work, the effort of someone because it doesn't fit their narrative. Someone just did that to me in the comment section and I deleted it. Well, you got money. And I was like, because I asked them a simple question: did you grow up poor? They didn't get back to me. And it's real interesting when I get these simple, non-offensive, like, hey, did you grow up poor? Nothing. Because that, essentially what people want to do is invalidate my success, marginalize my success. I did not have any inheritance. In fact, now that I've done this before, but now that I've deconstructed it, I actually started late on life because of the financial help that I was giving my family. It wasn't my money. I couldn't do what I needed to do with it. Essentially, all my money was going to feed a family. So from 18 to about 6 years, 24, then got married at 26, then became liberated at 32. 32 was the age that I had more control over my money because it wasn't going to someone else who was needy. Because there's a lot of talk about taking care of poor people, helping poor people out. I have a different opinion on that. I think you should help people who want help. I think you should help people who are trying. Just because you're breathing don't mean you're trying. And there's a lot of people who are breathing who are faking the funk, who are acting like they're doing something when they're not really doing anything. They're not doing their best. But if you are someone of means and you don't want to help them, then you're a bad person. You're a very, very bad person. Glendon Cameron, you're a very, very bad person. You have resources, you have things, you should help the community. Let's talk about that. Oprah created this $1 million school in Africa. Didn't work. Just didn't work. When you create a school and you don't have an accountability program embedded in that school, typically ain't gonna work. People just disregard free, even if it's from a billionaire, even if it's from a celebrity. I would say programs to help kids, where you give money to a program that's already up and running to help kids, I think that's beneficial. But just to throw money at people who ain't doing nothing, ain't gonna never help. It's just not. And one of the things that happened to me from being poor was I have this drive. Because once again, I guarantee you, if you look into the backgrounds of many of the people, many of my distractors, you'll find out that they grew up much better than I did economically. But they're not where I'm at economically today. And I have a theory, and I'm gonna float this theory, and I'm gonna share it with you. I feel that if you have too much handed to you, that it kills your drive. I feel that if your life is too cushy, if you don't have I got some friends who are very well off, and they were on their kids like ninjas. They pushed them, they shamed them, they talked junk about them. They didn't just let them grow up in the lap of luxury. Oh, no, 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 no. And they both turned out to be very good people, coming from a wealthy family, because they told them there was accountability. Now, remember the oldest one, she had moved out and they didn't like the decision, so they just stopped giving her money, and her power got cut off, and she called them, and she's like, well, I need some money for my power. And it's like, I'm sorry, we can't help you. And she's like, what do you mean you can't help me? You got money. It's like, you chose to move out. You chose not to follow our rules, so you're on your own. So she had to borrow some money from her friend to pay her electric bill. Many people will be like, that's cold, that's cruel. They should have paid. No. Because see, there's this book, How Children Succeed, and it talks about these lessons. And there are many adults who just have never learned how to take care of themselves. They've never had to be responsible for themselves. And the sooner that you start giving these lessons to children, the better off they're going to be as adults. Because like I said, I'm just here today. We're having this conversation because the comment was in reference to my last video. And, it's really funny. The dichotomy of this is so funny. When I first came on YouTube, I was a snake oil salesman. I was a scammer. I was just taking people's money. I was a bad person. I didn't have any money because, see, for a long time I played a role. I did my videos in front of a white wall so people couldn't tell what I was doing. And what happened is, of late, if you're talking about making money and you don't look like money, nobody's going to listen to you. It's just facts. There ain't no reason to be mad. It's just facts. Because if you watch my early videos, you know how I was living. And that's part of the reason is I knew that there would be jealousy. Something I experience on my Facebook page all the time, because this is how it starts. First, it starts with people not agreeing with me, which is well and cool. But I've developed this profile. You're going to like it. It's really cool. First stage is they disagree with me on several posts to get some shine. Then the second stage is they start low-key hating directly in the comments. And then the third stage is they'll have a bad day or something. They'll come on my page. They'll see something they don't like, and they will go slap off. This has happened so many times because typically I monitor behavior. I was like, okay, why did this person do this? So I've seen the pattern. So essentially, I got some people on my page I'm probably about to get rid of because they've already moved to stage 2. So the going off thing is coming. And essentially all I've done is live my life on my terms. That's it. There's a lot of people who disagree with me about my views. You're allowed to disagree, that's fine. But the thing is, when people start calling me names, stupid, coon, all this other stuff, you gotta leave the reservation. You gotta leave. Your visa is no longer welcome here, so we're gonna stamp it void and we're gonna eject you because these people are distractions. I want you to think. Let's unpack this. I'm sitting here putting out a message of self-empowerment, economic empowerment, self-improvement. And I got people who want to fight me on that saying, it can't be done. Think about that. Not people who are saying, let's do this together. Okay, well, some of y'all, I should say some of y'all get the message. Some of you are very supportive, and I appreciate that. We got folks out here who are, as my friend call it, demo people. They would rather tear something down that they can't have than to support it. And this is very different from the people that I grew up with in this poor neighborhood. Because we were probably, I think the Bruces were poorer than we. Actually, yeah, they had a refrigerated door as their front door of their house. That's the kind of neighborhood I lived in. I lived in a neighborhood that many people still, we weren't the only ones without running water in the house. There were still people using our houses, and they got much better. But I would say, hands down, we were probably the poorest in the bottom 3. Can't say the top 3, the bottom 3. We're probably in the bottom 3. And there were some people who had it worse than we did. Now, the thing about this is, when you're a kid, you don't really understand or know that you're poor. You're just living, you're going out in the yard, running around, playing games, looking at birds, experiencing life. You don't even know you're poor. But the minute you go to school, you start to see the dichotomy. You start to see like, they got a brand new Le Mans. My car about to fall apart. They got better clothes than we do. And it just starts happening. And in elementary school, it's not really that bad because a lot of kids are still kids. But what happens is when because you have your elementary school and then it feeds into a middle school. That's when stuff started to go crazy. We didn't have any racial problems at Adamsville Elementary. We really didn't. None of the teachers, but see, the populations were almost equal. Then we went to Bodenfield, it became like 70%, 30%. Things drastically changed. Drastically. Because some of the white people were indoctrinated with racism by other young white kids whose fathers were ardent racists. I remember this guy named Tom. And Lisa was hanging with me and Ricky because she was from Adamsville. And Tom was like, psst, psst, Lisa, come here. So Lisa, Lisa's reasonable. She goes over. And I hear him. It's like, what are you doing hanging with them? They're black. And Lisa said, I went to school with them. They're my friends. No, they're not. They're not your friends. And within 6 weeks, Lisa was indoctrinated. Just that quick. And I was sitting there like, how did that happen? And I saw her about 10 years ago and ran into her because I was back home. And I actually said, it's like, what you did? That was really messed up. And she tried to act like it didn't happen. I was like, no, it did happen. And she's like, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I'm like, very, very fun. And part of the dynamic of growing up poor is, I will say, a lot of my classmates who got that lesson of self-sufficiency, they may not make, quote, a lot of money, but they have their own house. They live by themselves. This was common. But for some reason, you've got kids who are coming from middle-class backgrounds, solid middle-class backgrounds, who are still living at home with their parents. It is a thing of you can do too much for your children. Now, I was in a situation where not enough was done for me, and I've come to terms with it. There was a lot of bad things that went down. This is why, as from the vantage point of being a kid in that situation, this is why I think single motherhood is a bad idea, because I was a product of it. And let's keep it a buck. That's the new thing. My mom pimped me. My mom put me on the host roll, her own son. And that should tell you the depths of female nature. It should tell you that, everything you need to know right there. And then when I emancipated myself from the situation, which resulted in me repossessing my car from my mother, she didn't talk to me for 2 years. Now, for 3 years, I sent home probably like $700, $800 a month because I was getting BAQ. Nah, thank you. Nothing. Entitlement is very, very bad. Entitlement is very dangerous. So one of the reasons I've come up with these views is they have worked for me. When I used to, I actually went to some of Minister Farrakhan's earlier talks. I liked the message. It was about self-sufficiency. It was about power. But I just couldn't get behind all that hate. Just couldn't. I feel that you can be better than a group of people and not denigrate this group of people. But just like the Trump cult, the cult of Trump, the message is filled with division, it's filled with hate, it's filled with fear. Minister Farrakhan, it's filled with hate, it's filled with fear. You see the parallels there? Because I don't know if it's primal, but when you just tell people that they need to do the right thing, that doesn't seem to touch people. But when you say, like, look, if you let that darkie over here, he gonna take your job. Gets people going. Now, I will say there's something I saw. And this is, and I've just noticed this. There was this place I used to go to, and it had white servers. Now, all the servers are Hispanic. Because when there was this Hispanic boycott, they closed. Then I noticed another place, and there's a Chick-fil-A. I don't know when this happened, but The staff, which used to be mostly white, a few black folks, is now 100% black. I have a feeling it has something to do with immigration laws and Trump and stuff. I just do. But it's 100% black. It's still Chick-fil-A. The food's still good. Food's still the same. Service still the same. So it's just very, really interesting. But how many of you grew up like really poor? I'm talking about gas being shut off. Let me tell you about the electricity. I come home. This is a really messed up story. And I flip the light switch and nothing happens. Now, this is in the age before cell phones. This is age before pagers. So I called when my mother was working. She had left, so I had to wait till she got home. And I met her at the door and I said, the power's off. She cussed me out. Now, I'm an adult now, and I realized that she was so ashamed. She was so burdened that all the emotion came out, and it just came out on me. And I just walked around the corner and didn't say nothing. And these are the things that happen to kids in single parent homes where the parent doesn't have the resources. These kids take a lot of abuse, verbal and mental, but no one talks about it. Well, you get to talk. Your mom did the best she could. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true, because I have this really good memory. It's sometimes a curse. And I remember the conversations my Aunt Evelyn had. I remember the conversations my Aunt Lillian had, and my mom just didn't want to listen. Now, a part of that is when you have these situations, they can build you up or they can tear you down. And you had a lot of people, and especially in the cities, who got torn down. You had beautiful girls out there giving it up, sucking dick for $2 because they needed that rock. Crack really changed a lot of communities. But once again, hold on. Jamal 510, you have a lovely day. I'm gonna move slow. There we go. Ain't BS. I was there. And he had a lot of hate, Jamal 510. And see, this is one of the problems. We don't have people who want to deal with the truth. I heard this with my own. See, I'm not supposed to listen to my ears or listen to my eyes. I'm supposed to believe in Jamal because he said that. Mr. Farrakhan has said many hateful, mean-spirited things. This is true. Maybe he's mellowed in his old age. And once again, let's just put this here. If you believe in white supremacy and you believe in low expectations, you probably want to unsubscribe from this channel. Because all I'm going to do is piss you off, because I'm not buying that in the people who are riding with me. And there's a lot of people ride with me, and I appreciate that. We ain't buying that. We ain't going for the okie doke. We're going to work hard. We're going to build businesses. We're going to make some money. And we're going to leave you and your dusty views behind. Because you think that it's just some anomaly that all these black folks are running to the Republican Party? You can be hanging out with a bunch of racists and get benefits, and you can be hanging out with your people and get killed. But nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to talk about that. That's being mean and talking bad about black folks. So, all right. All right, let's get into these comments. Let's see what's going on. Because, see, I've taken a very hard stance because many of you come across a YouTube channel, you don't like the content, you don't subscribe, you don't watch. But there's many folks who are trying to marry me to their low expectations. They're trying to marry me to their piss poor work habits. They're trying to marry me to their submission to a false narrative. They're on their knees to this false narrative. I'm not going for it. What's up, Josh Barr? Keep hustling. What's up, Raquel? Although I grew up in the projects, I really wasn't poor. Tim A. Mitchell McCauley. I did not grow up poor at all. My dad is definitely a beta, and my mom is the person who keeps putting money into assets, and my dad keeps on purchasing happiness through material things. That's wild, man. What's up, Excalibur? Since reality, I grew up poor, but not in poverty. The light and gas would go out because mom could not pay the bills. That's kind of close to, well, no. Was it like once a year? Now, I should be clear. During the winter, this would happen no less than 7 to 12 times. Serious. So, um, since the real, also my mom would have to have male roommates to help pay the bills. Thankfully, the roommates were civil. That's deep. Your mom ran the boarding house. Yes, Excalibur. All right. Well, let me tell you why I did the shopping. Our refrigerator was broken. The ice maker didn't work, so we had to go shop for groceries every day. We didn't have a car, so I had to walk to the grocery store. And the jokes, the jokes. This is it's funny now. At the time, I was hot because people would get up and they would start walking, and they say, "Who am I?" And they're like, "It's Glendon going to the store." Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, kids are ruthless. And this went on for many years because I didn't understand saving. Well, I was a kid. She didn't understand savings. We could have got a refrigerator probably at the time for $150. But once again, it was always a situation of lack. And I should say, be thankful to my mom because of the way that she lived. I absolutely refused to live that way. Absolutely refused to live that way. What's up, the DSLO Chronicles? What's up? Les Brown, you got to be hungry. I mean, that's a reality there. What's up, Johnny? About millions. I grew up poor, Section 8 housing, eating hot dogs and fried bologna sandwiches for years. But my dad got out of jail and built a $100,000 per year landscaping business, so it was a bigger turnaround later. That's a beautiful story, man. About millions. That is a beautiful story. Big ups to your dad. Christian, what's up? Dre the man. We're talking about being poor here today. What's up, Christian Alexander? NC Administrative Consulting. Never experienced poverty until I got much older. I deserved to work part-time until my son goes to middle school. He starts next year. Wow. Real full metal. Being poor helped me build character. I will say how you take it, definitely that's something that can happen. About millions, watching him build that has made me want to be successful and hungry. Well, about millions, your father was a model. You saw him build something from nothing. That's one of the legacies that he gave you. That's why I said big ups to your dad. What's up, Mentor Shelley? Douglas Jones? Mark Zuckerberg gave $100 million to New Jersey school and was gone as well. It's funny. DJ Slink, some people are meant to be sheep and some are wolves. I agree. That's natural selection. Archangel, yes, it's like the millionaire next door. Most affluent people become enablers to their children. It's a strange situation, but I've seen that. What's up, Dwight Ruddock? Appreciate you, Erica Williams. Know a wealthy black man. Father has 230 monthly rental checks. Son got everything. Went to the NFL brutally and went to jail doing foolish things. Then he got the father's program. They have to want it. Wow, that's a story. That is a wild story. Richard Brandon. I have both parents need to graduate high school. Had me and my brothers young. Missed out on a lot of life lessons. Richard Brandon, just knew as a child I only wanted to own my own, only now learning how to. And that's a really interesting point because when I was 32, this is when I began this journey. I was in that boarding house and I started facing some harsh truths. I started to realize that life did not work the way that I was told. I felt miseducated and I started to take action, and I used to call it Scheme Incorporated. I actually named my mental company and the things I would do. Funny story. Funny story. I know somebody who was trying to help their friend get a better job. because they felt that their job was not paying them well enough. So what my friend did was they cooked up this scheme where the girl turned in her resignation and she presented them with an offer letter, how much this new company was going to pay her, and they offered her $40,000 more than what she was making. So she kept her job and moved up. And it was a version of what I did to get the job at Really Great. Someone just told me the story the other day, and I was just like, oh my God, it still works. It still works. I didn't think it would work today, but I think it's a little different because she already was part of the company. But that's how she got a $40,000 a year increase. That's better than a raise. Just thought I'd throw that out there because that just had me tickled. Douglas Jones, Christopher Penn, Eric Douglas, Paul Newman's son, Anna Nicole Smith's son, all grew up rich and are all now quite dead. 3 of the 4 were dope addicts, and O.D. Douglas was a dope fiend too. The guy that, I forget his name, but the guy that killed those girls, he was like one of the first incels. His father was a producer, I believe, on Jurassic Park. What's up, Crystal Davis? Hello, and yes, I did grow up poor. We had enough food. Bills were struggles. Clothes were not expensive. Mom did her best. Archangel, that's right on your terms unapologetically. And that's something that really gets a lot of hate. Because I'm being myself. That right there, because like I said, I got 2. And today after the stream, I'm just like, you know what? You know what's going to happen. They've moved to stage 2. It's only a matter of time before they start really coming after you because they're demo people. They both present themselves to be very successful, but this is what I've noticed about really successful people. They're usually very helpful. Very helpful. They're not jealous because they got so much money. They're like, you ain't gonna compete with me. If you do, good. We both got a gang of money. There's just a weird, different vibe from people who are pretending to be successful than folks who are actually successful. And those tend to be some of the biggest haters. I mean, because one, he went off earlier and I didn't stoop to his level. Another one, yeah, he's disagreed like 5 times. So he's definitely in stage 2. Sky Blevin, I grew up spoiled and need help with motivation. Man, your parents robbed you of your motivation. Cool Breeze, I'm from Bessemer, Alabama. That's where my Aunt Lillian lives. Brighton, which was part of Bessemer. Did you go to McAdory? I grew up poor, not poor. I felt the struggle and helped with my hustle mindset. Health and weight and real talk. I grew up lower middle class because my parents' habit of gambling. For 1 year, we lived with my aunt and grandmother in their 2-bedroom apartment. My sister had to sleep in their living room. That sound poor. Health, wealth, and real talk. That sounds like poor. That sounds like poverty right there. From NYC Administrative Consulting. My mother told me she didn't realize that she was poor until she took an economics class in college. She was born in 1948. I would say I can see that because most people were in the same boat. So if everyone is doing the same thing, you're not really poor. You have to be exposed to something to make you go like, oh, I ain't like that. I don't roll like that. I don't live like that. I just finished working on my budget and my ass is poor now. A budget don't lie, play. Gee, it don't. What's up, Dre the Man? And see, this is something else with Jamal 510. He doesn't agree with me, but his ass hasn't gone anywhere. He's still watching this. This is what I'm talking about, these demo people. You know, if someone like disagrees with me in the video in the comments, like, okay, fine, I feel this way, and I move on. But they can't move on because there's something I'm doing that's got these folks triggered. Triggered like crazy. Zola, Even girls from middle school holding them accountable, man. You preach what you practice. I've been a weird I've been a weird. I was a weird little kid. I remember that cheerleader that I gave the demerit in the hall pass, and Mr. Phillips was around the corner looking. I knew she didn't like me. I knew she wasn't gonna be my friend. That was just in the moment, say something like to get out of a jam, and then she just go back to being her evil self. Oh, she is fat. I mean, she ain't like chubby. She's doubled in size, literally, because back then she was like 120. She's about 240, 260 now. And all she posts on her Facebook page are church pictures. She in church, she making that chicken. She's making that chicken and she's eating a lot of it too. Johnny Walton, I had cousins who had to eat red clay because they did not have any food. I didn't have to eat red clay, but for some reason I ended up doing that. What's up, Zola? Cool Breeze. Mom was welfare and child support pimp till she married a military man, aka hit the lotto lot to grass. Jamal 510 is still here. It's very interesting. About me, you're a better man than me, man. It's hard to give people that have fucked you over. How did you forgive your family after that? At first, I was still confused. When it happened, it was just like, because once again, I was very young and I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand the game. And later on, I didn't really think about it because I was dating this chick, then we got married, then we had kids. Only when I was in that boarding house did I reflect back because I was just too busy and I think I didn't really want to think about it. I really didn't want to think about it. And we just developed this, I would go visit my mom like once or twice a year and that was about it. Just out of respect, but we never were close. What's up, Christian? Big nephew, 87 crack era. That's funny. When I left to join the military, it was 1985. 1987, because I was sending home money. My brother sent me a newspaper clipping of like 9 of my friends that got caught up in this drug bust. And it was big nephew, it was 1987. That's when crack, probably 86, came to burn. It's like I had missed that. And a lot of my friends got caught up with it. Excalibur, with the way you're defining poor, I didn't grow up poor, but my mom didn't make 30K though. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, this is what I'm saying. Because when someone's like, hey, you got money, it wasn't always like this. It wasn't, this is new to me because power going out, lights going out, gas going out. Well, power and lights are the same thing. One thing, the water never got shut off because the water was super cheap. But food, I remember there was a lot of times we just had grilled cheese sandwiches because they got that free government cheese. And I think they were giving out bread or something, or bread was cheap. So that's how we did that. Hamburger helper, pork and beans and hot dogs. A lot of those meals. Yeah. Man, big nephew, 87. I'm sorry to hear that. Mom was on crack. Crystal Davis. I went to school with girls who ate red clay on the way to school. There's a lot of things. I'm going to tell you this sad story. There was this girl. And fortunately, I wasn't one of the mean people, but I didn't befriend this girl. Her name was Angela. They were probably worse off than we were. And Angela, she came to school with a dirty face. That's where she was. So now that I'm a mature adult and I can realize she had a lot of bad stuff that was happening to her. She was a white girl. She was teased relentlessly. I don't even know what happened to her. It was bad because she was dirty. She had dirt on her fingernails. They were poor. There were some people in my neighborhood who lived in houses with no heat. Juggy. There was this guy. I don't even know his real name. This guy was Juggy. Juggy got into bestiality. Juggy got caught with a goat. So nobody would really, I mean, it was just a lot of stuff. Um, I remember my mom wanted a trailer so bad because a trailer would have been a come up for us. That's how bad it was. Let's see. Go back. Good Lord. All right, here we go. Archangel, I did. Gee, I was blessed. My pops died. My mother put me in military school with his social security check. I had some friends who used to get those checks. I didn't understand how that worked until later. Camilla Willow, people don't want to deal with the truth because it hurts and they don't know how to deal with it. Big nephew still fucked up about that era because it destroyed my family. Wow. Mentor Shelley, I did experience some verbal abuse as a teenager because of my mom's hatred for my dad. I did have the opportunity to address those issues with her before she passed. Maturity helps. This is one of the things, and I'm not trying to bash on single mothers. I think that when a woman puts herself in the position of being a single mother, now that's one thing if she was married and the husband died, that's totally different, even for the kids because they know dad's gone, he ain't coming home. But that's one of the quickest ways to poverty, and that's one of the quickest ways to abuse. I used to work in the children's emergency room. I saw these kids come in all the time, and everyone freaked out. Now, if it's the dad, everybody wanted to jump on him, right? But if it was the mother, they was like, well, she needs help. And I remember Joe Simon was like, lock that bitch up. That's what he said, lock that bitch up. She harmed a child. He was the chief doctor in the emergency room. It was his emergency room. Christian, I remember growing up, we did not have power. We had to spend the night at a relative's house. I see that I ain't the only one. What's up, big nephew? We definitely gonna go. Cool breeze, black people started the Republican Party. I did not know that. Teddy the Dom, being poor and staying poor is different. Those are facts. Those are definitely facts. Archangel, oh wow, Jar, really? I'm Muslim from Chicago. That's the specific reason why Malcolm left the nation. Once again, see, this is one of the things that happen with these people. They know the truth, but because you disagree with them, they gonna act like that truth didn't appreciate your Archangel, because that's why Malcolm left. He went to Mecca and saw that people were people, Muslims were Muslims. It's probably what got him shot. Von B, there's a lot of them. There's a bunch of them. Damn, Johnny. I remember when we were young, we had to catch rainwater because we had no running water. Dre the man, I grew up poor to a single mother in Detroit to a very murderous environment. What's up, Edward Koch? The minister's a great man. His meat gods are primal, brain driven. Been the bartender. I didn't experience being really poor till I moved out. Yep, paper food stamps that look like monopoly money. I agree with that 100%. Teddy the Don. Von B. Man, going through tough times definitely will mold you if you know how to stay firm. I agree with that. But see, everybody ain't built for that life. A lot of people, they can't stay firm. Dang, $10 would cause wars in my household. I actually saw, and this is sad, but it was entertainment. We had a crackhead, and we had a male crackhead, and we had a female crackhead. And they were fighting in the living room over a rock. And the female crackhead was butt naked. And the male crackhead had a t-shirt on. Nothing else. Dick hanging all out. And I'm watching because I have nothing else to do. And they're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So the next thing they do, they start fucking. And he starts talking shit. Take this dick, you cracky crack crack. You ain't gonna make me tap out. You ain't gonna make me tap out. Yeah, I was watching them and I almost cried because I realized this was what my life had became. Watching two crackheads fight over a rock and then end up fucking in the living room. And then dude we used to call Preacher, he came out of this room, pulled out his chair, and he watched. It's sad, I know, but we were just like, he's like, man, we here. Might as well watch. Oh, man. What's up, Lamode? John Doe, I did indeed. Dirt poor, I have 10 siblings, so just imagine. That means you at the dinner table first, because if you was last, you got scraps if you got anything at all. Poor is no good. It motivated you. One man's way. I went into the Marines for that 3 meals a day. All the dudes who were in the military, you remember, I don't know who in the 80s, I don't know how they do it now, but you remember those meatball MREs? Man, those things were amazing. We used to trade them. Like, you got the meat, I'll give you 2 and give me no meatballs. And there was these donuts. I don't know what this guy did in Hawaii, but those are the best donuts ever. I think because we were so deprived that everything was just had an extra taste and extra flavor. Dre the man, I'm third run on the same journey. And that's one of the things that happens to a lot of men that grow up in that situation. Instead of starting in your 20s, building your inner economics, you got to sort out so much stuff for 10 to 15 years. That someone who grew up in a stable environment with 2 parents or one parent, because, you know, all single mothers are not the same. There are some women who make a lot of money and they can't give the kid everything, but the kid's not waking up cold. The kid's not waking up hungry. And that's something to be said and appreciated about that. Health, wealth, I'm facing some painful truth to get out of this class. My YouTube channel, Health, Weight, and Real Talk will help move up along with the books I'm writing. It's a journey, man. It's a journey. Douglas Jones. I went to school with 96% white kids straight through high school. They cut me out of all the social activities by the time I was 12, and some of them jumped me when I was 13. It totally sucked. There's something about human nature when the demographics change, because I know what it is for a black woman to be dating today. I know exactly how that feels, because when I was at Schofield Barracks, the ratio of black women to black men was like 1 to 50. So for every black woman, there was 50 black dudes. Man, until I got some game, it was horrible. And my first year, I spent mostly off island. Wow, man, that sucks, Douglas. But I'm pissed that at 30, the light always goes off. I don't think if my wife and I stayed together, I don't think the light will ever went off. Thanks, Douglas Jones. John Doe is really going off. Simone. It was funny, man, because I was like, that still works. I didn't know. I like that, Von B. Thank you, Richard Moore. Von B. Facts. Successful people want other people to keep them sharp, but you have to ask the right questions. Do you see the same way? Cobra's. Oh, you went to Jess Lanier. All right. Crystal Davis. Haters have to spew their negativity here and there. They thrive on it. Yeah, they always look for reactions. Their feelings ground. You got it going on and you're a strong black man, a threat. I never considered myself a threat, but the way that, I don't really talk about this stuff because YouTube has gone through several different versions for me, because when I started, I was the only black dude in resale, but I happened to be one of the founding fathers. There was a lot of white people that had a problem with that. A lot. They used to do 3-hour hangouts about me, and this is where the snake oil salesman, the charlatan, all this stuff came from. And I've outlasted each and every last one of them. That's the funniest thing. All the people who are really going after me are gone, or, well, I think one or two still making videos, but this channel ain't going nowhere. And it's funny. It really is, because there was a lot of racism. And that's why I have this stance, because if so-called white supremacy was all that, why didn't they win? It was me against damn near 15 other people. Me. I felt like one of those kung fu masters where, you know, they're coming out the ceiling, they just kept coming and kept coming. And I was just like, you know what? Put my hand in the ground and said, I'm gonna weather the storm, and I'm gonna get these motherfuckers. And I did. I got 3 of them channels deleted. So that's why I have these feelings, because they ain't nothing. They're like zombies. When they get together, they can be a little rowdy, but one-on-one, they ain't nothing. Nothing. Mr. Lane, I agree 100%. Health and wealth. It was for one long year that we were able to get a 3-bedroom apartment, and the gambling stopped. That's tragic, man. That really is tragic. Health, wealth, and real talk. I'm sorry that happened to you, because the scars that has left on you, I mean, that's hard to deal with. That guy was probably not getting no love. Could be. She Kelly Price in 1996. Man, I forgot about Kelly Price. Von B, when we lived in New Jersey, I didn't realize we were undercover living poor. When we moved to Florida, I started to see the difference. Crystal Davis, a lot of mean girls from back in the day look a hot man. Crystal, you ain't never lied. Sometimes I go to my other, because I separated my Facebooks, because there was just too much drama on my first Facebook page. And I created this new page just for people, and a lot of folks joined, so I just don't have that drama. But whenever I go over there, I'm like, Jesus. And then I have some friends who look the same as they did in high school. Same weight, same look, everything. Von B, couldn't tell my Jersey friends about their Florida life. It's sad, man, but I understand exactly why you couldn't. JCH, I grew up dirt poor. When I was 16, I supported my family, 2 parents plus a little brother and sister, on $5.15 an hour. Dad fell off a roof, broke his back, and couldn't work for a few years. That's tough, man. Cool Breeze. Yeah, that red clay. A lot of old people would eat it. I mean, this is what we're talking about, because anytime someone comes at me like, you got money, I didn't always have money. It was a process, and it's a process that many of you can overcome. Now, it ain't going to be quick. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. Let's put it that way. When your family fucked you over and you realize you just walked out the matrix, I thank them for the lessons. And they never sat me down and told me the real estate game. I just realized when I bought one. Wow. Crystal, government cheese was the best. That's crazy. I know, man. That was a staple. Choker sandwiches, a lot of peanut butter and a little bit of jelly. I tell you, I see a lot of people going way back. All right, hold on. It jumped. Let's see. Cosmic Wisdom. Yep, Cool Brews. I grew up between Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Prince George County. I made mud pies from red clay. Didn't eat it, though. My upcoming was 2 parents, upper middle class. Didn't forget the classic peanut butter and jelly. Mr. Lane, I still eat those meals. Gotta be on code until things get better. All about not wasting money. Poor is such a mindset. I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit there. Poor can be a very real and tragic thing. Poor people work harder. It's very expensive being poor. Charlotte, the gate came on. The guilt came on to him. Juggy, I want to say Juggy was weird, but Juggy wasn't weird. Juggy came from a dysfunctional family, so his behavior was appropriate. I know, man. It's a lot of weird stuff went on in Adamsville, Alabama. Jay Castro. At the very least, he didn't have to worry about STD. Oh man. Woo. Latasha gotta go. Oh man. Crystal, my mom had to leave my alcoholic father who beat her often. She left to keep from killing him, and yes, that threw us into poverty, but I'm glad she left him. Wow. JP, man, we were poor but had a tight family unit, which made us feel rich. I had some friends like that. Um, Big families, a lot of love. I had the Thomases. Actually, Letitia died shortly after we graduated high school, sadly. Um, but they still tight today on Facebook. They still tight. So I think that's a beautiful thing when you can get a family that can be that cohesive. Douglas Jones, I didn't realize how privileged I grew up until I met a white guy who really had it hard. His father took him to an orphanage at age 4 and said he'd be right back. He never saw that man again. You know that happened to Jimmy Graham, the tight end for New Orleans Saints. I think he moved to Seattle. His mother at 11 put him in the orphanage. Yes. Being the bartender. Man, there's so much stuff that happened in that house. Cool Breeze, crackheads is the main reason why I never tried any drug ever. I think I was just scared to do drugs because I've never been high. Richard Brandon, I'm poor at the moment, making less than 20 a year, rebuilding my life. It's a process. You think you're telling that story was crazy watching it? Because anyone ever see crackheads fight? Because they will be going at it, and then that rock come out, and then they're best friends again. Mr. Lane, I have a testimony here. I can make a movie about my life. Wow. Lamo, we had spaghetti and M&M. I mean, the meatballs, MREs was the truth. I mean, dudes would like fight over those things. CR2 Lives. I watched many Ford family members drag down a productive family member who wanted to prop up those who lacked discipline. I used to help until I realized that poor pathology. I loved them from afar. Real talk right there. Because unless the person wants to be better, there's nothing you can do. I mean, nothing. Be real, we're still suffering from the crack era. I think some places are. Vaughn B, almost flunking out of college, helped build my work ethic. Didn't want my parents to know I lost my scholarship, had to work and study. Now, see, that's something else because you had a fire lit under your ass. That definitely will improve character. Chef Joseph Kick Sauce. I'm in the hot sauce business and I like your style and message delivery. Appreciate you, bro. It jumped. All right. Richard Branson, I've been seeing a psychotherapist, was diagnosed with HDA years ago, taken off as a child, and has struggled since, made 29 a few days ago. One of the things with being poor is a lot of dysfunction happens that if you got treatment early, it wouldn't be as bad. And then you have to spend money today to fix stuff that happened to you as a kid. I have one friend who's in therapy. I have two that I've urged, actually one I may go. Because one of the things is we got to get rid of this stigma. People need help and they should get help. That's why therapists are here. So kudos to you for going to therapy. Crystal Davis, you are a threat. That's just, it's just really crazy because I'm just living my life. Now I understand when I say I attack the white supremacy myth that people come at me with. Yeah, that's threatening because they don't have another narrative to replace it with, so they rather cling to a harmful narrative. Space Donkey, white supremacy is reverse psychology. It is an artificial construct. If you look at the state of white people, the life expectancy of white males has gone down 8 years. I don't think you understand how significant that is. It has gone down in an industrialized nation. Yeah, because the reason I did this, instead of coming out with fire and brimstone, you know, I went through a lot of stuff as kids. Now, I did have some good times. There were good times. But, I mean, if I had to percentage size it, 60-40, 60 bad, 40% good, or maybe 70-30, depending upon the year. There's just a lot of bad stuff that went down. And that's one of the reasons I'm so driven. I just absolutely like the thing with the person we will not name who comes after me. Like I said, one of the reasons that I did not want to have a kid out of wedlock is I know what it does to the kid. Kids got questions about who dad is and all this other stuff. And even though I married someone and we had 2 kids, it didn't work out. At least I tried. And I was very upset over that because, you know, I was, 45? And I had escaped that. And I mean, you know, it's wild the number of chicks that I fucked. That shit never happened. And that was one of the reasons that I kind of stayed in contact with them for a little while, just to make sure there was no little G's popping out. And it was just like, because, see, I know how she's going to feel because of the pathology of her mother, who's going to lie because she has to lie because she has no character. And, you know, like I said, I'm ready. I got all the papers and stuff in a safety deposit box. I've got recordings. I've got court papers because she's going to be told, I don't care. Because, see, once again, when you're dealing with someone who's immature, they're going to lie. And she's going to actually start to believe her lies. And she's going to tell them with authenticity. And then when she comes looking for me, and I'm like, bam, here you go. Because, see, the thing is, I couldn't get her served for custody. The judges, they didn't even want to help me. It was just like, I remember I got her served because she wouldn't give her name to the process server. And the judge was like, dubious service, and wouldn't enforce it. I really think that the judges I got at the city of Atlanta just sucked ass. Really do. Von B, the first Facebook page is like going back to the old neighborhood. When you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Yes, sir. Cool Breeze. I think the problem is that people that go from rags to riches tend to forget the struggle is what drove them to success, and they fail to pass the drive along to future generations. That's a big thing because I'm doing that with my daughter right now. She ain't happy about it, but I'm just holding her accountable. Robert, you could never get that government cheese to completely melt. No, you could not. Agent J. Poole, I had that government cheese life. Didn't even know we were poor, but we sure were. Cool Breeze, for the record, the most ghetto meal ever is what noodles? Those ramen noodles. Von B, from the first stream to now, I'm still on 75 watching these Alabama cars. One man's way. Hey, folks, I got a sweet resale side hustle going on, buying on Amazon and using coupon sites to buy dirt cheap, then sell it right back on Amazon. I'm making about $2,000 a month. You're welcome. Well, thank you, One Man's Way, for the $10 and the hustle tip. Okay, hold on. Oh, Crystal, definitely a strong family unit, great friends, and lots of love can ease the pain of being poor. Definitely, because there's a lot of people who just don't have that. There are people who have no love in their life. They have no one they can count on. That is just a horrible way to live. Erica Williams, we had poverty for a few years when we couldn't get farm loan. A bunch of family members pushed in one house. Then everyone went military and police officers. Family back on course 3 years later. Sounds like group economics right there. I agree, Mentor Shelley, because one of the reasons I'm doing this, because people come at me as if that I just like snap my fingers and this is my life. When I wrote my first book, I wasn't starting all over again financially. I had a lot of money in the bank, so I'll be honest about that. But I didn't know what the future held. I had almost died, and I was like, I'm gonna write this book. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel, and whoa, look what happened. But I was restarting my life. That is a trip. The DSL Chronicles. You were at at Connealy Bay. Yep, I was at Schofield Barracks. Interesting place. Eric Williams basically had to move and make new friends to grow where I'm at now. Hustle with direction is important. Will open doors for other people. Awesome. Dang, Eugene. First time I realized we were poor is when I told a girl I liked that I was eating mac and cheese. True, John B. Von B. I grew up poor too with welfare, food stamps, single mom. I remember those embarrassing moments in the grocery store lines, pulling out food stamps and being teased by other kids. See, this is how I used to do it. I will walk around the store. You ever notice when you walk in the store that the people you come in with often leave at the same time? So if I came in the store with some people, my friends, I would go back outside. And then when I would see them at the checkout line, that's when I would go into the store. So I never was seen by them using those things because that was just very embarrassing. But I know the feeling, Jeremy. I know the feeling. Richard Brown, some of the most delicious foods we eat came from the mind of someone poor. You know what's funny? My Uncle James, he was a chef in the Navy. He came down one summer and this dude hooked up some pork and beans, some hot dogs, onions, tomatoes, and mustard. It was amazing. It was amazing. So, but you know, he was a chef. He knew how to do that. Simone, I think that's 100% true. And health and weight, being poor is extremely expensive. Ben the bartender, I had the names for the mice. Grew up poor. Hashtag grew up. Wow, man. We had a bunch of cats, so we didn't have mice, but wow. Von B, men tell lies, women live them. I got a paper trail of emails and pictures for both daughter and the possible. Because they're going to lie, man. They really are. They're going to demonize you. What's up, Stefan? Klein, I didn't grow up poor. At least one parent had a decent job, another was in school until 12, wherein both my parents were making six figures together. I was homeless for 2 months when I was 23. Homeless shelters suck hard. Man, try a boarding house with some crackheads. I was there for 2.5 years. Eric Williams, it was an old Southern Victorian house over 6+ rooms. People in my town think we got money because of that old house. Man, we were still struggling for a bit. Well, you put your money together. You had mice, man. My cockroaches wouldn't even let no mice come around there, man. They were like blood and Crips. Oh, man, that's funny. Shoot, we got one pair of no-name sneakers to wear to school all year, and then like 5 outfits. I actually bought a lot of my own clothes, and I had some canvas Nikes. Remember when Nikes came out, and that's what all the popular kids were wearing? Well, my Nikes busted out the sides, right? I actually sewed those joints up. I went ahead and got thread and needle. Fortunately, it had some white thread, and I was able to get in there just enough to sew the shoes up. That's the stuff that I went through as a kid. My jeans had ripped, took needles, sewed them up. There's this guy. He makes these ramen noodles. Go for just put in prisoner ex-con makes ramen noodles because he makes these noodles for